All right, guys, so with all that done and out of the way, it's time to open up the Gotta Love Them Movies mailbag. All right, you guys. On our first email, really our only email of the day, comes to us from a former guest of ours. He's a two-time appearance person on that's a horrible way to introduce it. David K. Jones from Honolulu, Hawaii writes, aloha, Gotta Love Them Movies fam. Well, aloha, David. Thank you for, first of all, thank you for being a guest on the show, and thank you for writing an email. It's always great to have emails that we can, discuss and talk about. So David says, it's time for everyone to get their costumes ready for the big H day. That would be Halloween. Halloween is on Saturday. So in what, 4 days? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. 4 days. Halloween is in 4 days. What are some of your favorite movie-inspired costumes that you've worn? Bonus points for pictures that people want to see. Well, David, thank you so much for the question. Yeah, I have had... if you know anything about me, it's that I'm really big into cosplay. Maybe not as big as other professional cosplayers, but I enjoy the process of, picking your character. What is your character? Who's your character going to be? And what are they going to look like? Because what they look like on screen, on television, in the movies, in the comic books, whoever your character is, inevitably, the version that you create yourself is going to look a little bit different from how they look on screen or on the page or whatever. So a big part of it is the adaptation, right? And sometimes we can make a half-hearted effort, and sometimes we can actually do something fun, something cool with it. I'm sorry. I feel like my cat is making noises around somewhere. So if you hear weird noises, that's just my cat running around the room. She's a cat, as cats do. Anyway, guys, so I have put together a list of, I think this is 11 or 12. I didn't actually count them. 12, a whole bunch of some of my favorite costumes that I've put together. At least as many as the photos that I could find. So we're just going to start off with this one. Bane. Bane was a costume that I did, I want to say maybe back in 2012? 2013, something like that. Well, let's see. Yeah, it must have been around 2012. That's when Dark Knight Rises came out. So every now and again, I have a proclivity to shaving my head, if you have not already known. So Bane was a costume. I'm putting it towards the bottom of the list. These aren't specifically ranked. They kind of go from the gradient to least favorite to most favorite-ish. So Bane was a costume that I did just because I could. I didn't actually wear this costume out. This was a last minute thing. I didn't even know if it was something that I could do. It was more of I think I had already shaved my head, and my roommate at the time said something like, you look like you could play Bane. So everybody was doing that voice. So I figured, hey, let's see if I can slap something together. And this is what I came up with. But I never actually went outside with it. So is it a cosplay? Is it a Halloween costume? I don't know. Moving on to our next costume was Gambit from the X-Men. This is not technically a costume. It's just a t-shirt. And I would not have, I wouldn't normally have included it in this list, except that a friend of mine is pictured, Artie. She's wearing the Rogue t-shirt. So, the Rogue and the Gambit t-shirt kind of together, it looks like a coordinated costume. It wasn't. It was just one of those. We went to go, I think X-Men Days of Future Past just came out. We all, a whole bunch of group friends of ours, we all went to go see the movie together. These were the shirts that we happened to wear, and I thought, wow, Artie, you're wearing, this is perfect. It's perfect syncing. We have to take a photo together, and so that was that. So again, it's not an official costume per se, but it was kind of fun. I thought I'd include it. Our next costume, this was my first official cosplay that I ever put together, myself. Bob Wiley from What About Bob. Now, as featured here in the photo, you can see that is not me. That is Bill Murray from the movie What About Bob. I don't actually have a head-to-toe photo of myself as Bob Wiley. Like I said, this is my first time doing cosplay all by myself, right? I had done a little bit of cosplay, not much. I had done a little bit of cosplay in years before this, but it was always like group stuff. It was always like group cosplay, and I felt safer. So in this particular setting, this is I think I was going to, this is my first time going to New York Comic Con, and I went all by myself, and I figured, well, if I'm going to Comic Con, I have to cosplay. So I thought it'd be really smart, I thought it'd be really clever if I went as Bob Wiley, Bill Murray's character from What About Bob. And for years, I've been kicking myself. Why did I not take a full body shot, like a photo? I don't know. I wish I had, but I didn't. So this is what we have. Next up, Mr. Rogers. Here I'm pictured with my girlfriend Kim. Again, this is not a cosplay per se, but it is, I guess you could definitely call this a costume. We went off and part of our, there was an improv, Camp Improv Utopia, if you're familiar with it, headed up by Nick Armstrong, actually. So look him up and give them a little bit of support. Everybody, all the campers at Camp Improv Utopia are assigned a different cabin. So the cabin we were assigned to was the Mr. Rogers cabin. So of course we thought, like, well, now we have to dress up as Mr. Rogers. So this is the costumes that we came up with. We have a whole bunch of other photos, but yeah, it was just fun. It was silly. Yeah, it was really cool. I liked it a lot. Next up, Walter White. Oh, Walter White. So again, this was in the heyday of Breaking Bad. My roommate, Josh Hurley, pictured here. He and I decided to go as Breaking Bad's Walter White and Jesse Pinkman. Here I have another photo for you. So yeah, we went out. This was on Halloween Day. I want to say that, again, this was like 2012. I think this was Halloween Day of 2012. So yeah, we just went out. We didn't do much of anything. I think we just went to a diner. And no joke, this actually happened. There was a guy, oh man, I really wish that we had taken a photo of this. There was a guy at a booth, maybe like 2 or 3 booths over, and he looked, it was not Giancarlo Esposito, but it looked just like, Giancarlo Esposito. So I really wanted the two of us to go over and kind of like take a photo all together. We didn't. I'm kind of sad that we didn't, but anyway, we didn't. And this is what we have. All right, moving on. This was the first cosplay that I ever like built. There's a difference between like assembling the costume pieces and putting things together and then like building a cosplay yourself. And this was a combination of the two. I'll take you through some of the photos. But yeah, Cannonball, or Sam Guthrie from the X-Men, he's always been one of my favorite characters. Of course, everybody loves Wolverine, everybody loves Gambit, and those are some of my favorites as well. But Sam Guthrie, Cannonball from the X-Men, he's always been one of my favorites. I found another guy at New York Comic Con who did like an old school Cannonball costume. So of course we had to, take a photo together. And here I am with another one of my friends, Melissa, who was working the con that particular year. So in this particular costume, I had assembled a few pieces. I bought like a motorcycle, like cut, like a vest, I guess you could call it. And I bought, they were actually like leather, yeah, they're leather pants, but I guess they were used for like male strippers. So of course I bought those, because how could you not? So that was the basis for my costume, and everything else, like the gloves I assembled, the C on my chest, I assembled C for Cannonball, and especially the neck piece. That I was very particularly pleased with. If you're familiar with the comics and what Sam Guthrie or Cannonball looks like in the comics, I tried to put this neck piece together, and I was very pleased with it. All right, moving on to our next costume. How many more do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 more costumes to go, you guys. The Punisher from the Defenders. So, this was the first iteration of my cosplay group. I've talked about my cosplay group before in San Diego Comic-Con. I have a few different cosplay groups that we get together now and again. So this was at San Diego Comic-Con. This was a last-minute costume. So the Netflix Defenders was just premiering, right? And at San Diego Comic-Con that particular year, some friends, we had all decided, hey, let's do a last minute, or rather, sorry, they had already planned what their cosplay was going to be, that they were going to all do like the Defenders, well, here we go. So yeah, Matt Murdock as Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Elektra, and Iron Fist. And so they said, Mike, if you should come join us. You should be the Punisher. Great, awesome. So I slapped together a Punisher costume, and there's what we came up with. All right, now moving into some more of my favorite costumes. Captain America. Classic. Again, this was a costume that I assembled. I didn't build it. I just bought all the different pieces, and I think it works pretty well together. So here I am with my New York Comic-Con cosplay group. Andy Danish, very famous voice actor, as well as Rob Moria. Sorry, Rob. I know I'm mispronouncing your name, but yeah, there you go. So Rob is playing Thanos, and then Sammy is playing Gamora. I am obviously Captain America, and then Andy Danish as more of the Tony Stark as opposed to an Iron Man. But yeah, we had a lot of fun at New York Con that year. Here, posing as the Civil War kind of thing. It was really fun. Again, not a costume that I built, more of a costume that I assembled, but costumes assemble. There you go. Moving on to the Ghostbusters. I think the Ghostbusters cosplay, this was one of the earliest ones that I've ever done or been a part of. We were actually featured on the Today Show, and we won second place. I think this was back in 2007. Yeah, 2007. We were on the Today Show doing Ghostbusters cosplay. Not in this photo, but maybe in future iterations I'll pull some of the photos out and show you guys. But yeah, so we did. I've kind of been in this Ghostbusters cosplay group for a while now, since I guess 2007. Josh Hollifield, a very good friend of mine, he was the one that built the proton packs for all of us, and I built the costume, the flight suit costume myself, and all the individual pieces that go therein. But I also kind of had an opportunity to kind of make it my own a little bit. I don't know if you can see, but my name tag says, it has my name on it, my actual name, Brown, on it. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. It was really cool. I'm so glad that we had that opportunity. All right, next up is SpiderHam. SpiderHam. This version of SpiderHam I created before Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse came out. The animated movie, Into the Spider-Verse. So I did the SpiderHam cosplay before the movie came out. And in fact, when we were at San Diego Comic-Con, here I'll show you, there you go. This is the San Diego cosplay group together. We all decided, hey, let's do a Spider-Verse cosplay. We knew the movie was coming out, but we didn't know any details about it. We knew it was an animated film, but we hadn't seen any pictures. There weren't any trailers out yet. And so we went and decided to do this. And the funny thing about this particular cosplay is that I think it was the first trailer for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse debuted at San Diego Comic-Con. So here we are. We'd already planned this. We have our costumes together, and the very first trailer that comes out for Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse includes SpiderHam in it. And here I am in the SpiderHam costume, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's too good." So I kind of felt like it was a happy accident, but I kind of felt like a trendsetter in that regard. So this is definitely one of my more favorite cosplays. Guys, we have 2 more to go. Harvey Quinn, or also known as Harley Quinn. I did a Harley Quinn gender bender. This is my second most favorite. We have one more cosplay to go into, but this is a particular favorite of mine. First and foremost, it took me a long time to build this costume. This was a costume that I built. I built it all from scratch. I got some other clothing and some other pieces and paint. I got paint and I spray painted this whole costume. And the time that it took to do was painstaking. And when you put that much time and effort into building a costume, you love it. You love it. And Apparently, it got so much love and recognition and notoriety. This particular photo was taken on the showroom floor at San Diego Comic-Con by someone who worked for the Associated Press. And this particular photo made the rounds in a lot of different news publications on the internet. So, if you, I don't know if it's still going to be popular now, but if you Google Harley Quinn cosplay, or San Diego Comic-Con cosplay, maybe 2018, something like that. Was that 19 or was that last year? I honestly can't remember. Maybe it was last year, 2019. Try 2019. Google San Diego Comic-Con cosplay 2019, see what pops up. But anyway, this particular photo made the rounds to a lot of major news outlets, and I'm very, very proud of it. It took a long time to make. I think it works really well. It's creepy. It's like I wanted it to be creepy, and it came out really creepy. So I'm very happy with how it turned out. All right, guys, now it's time for my the last cosplay, the last costume I've ever made. This is my favorite one that I've ever done. This took the longest to do, and that is Baxter Stockman, one of the villains from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, featured here in this particular photo on the left, we have my friend Andy Danish, famous voice actor. In the middle, we have Linda Moulton, who's she also a cosplayer, a very good friend of mine. We're on a sketch team together, sketch comedy team together. And then there's me. So Andy's playing obviously the Shredder. Linda is playing Old Hob from the comics. If you're familiar with the Ninja Turtle comics, one of the street level villains is Old Hob. He's kind of a half man, half cat character. And then there's me, Baxter Stockman, who's a half man, half fly. Very Jeff Goldblum, the Fly-esque, One of the reasons that this particular costume is one of my favorites. Yes, we got a lot of notoriety. Yes, we were interviewed by a lot of news outlets. And actually, here, let me show you some of these. So the first one. So here are the Screen Junkies. There's Hal Rudnick from the Screen Junkies. If you're familiar with like the Honest Trailers, or like the Screen Junkie show or movie fights, like Hal Rudnick is a very big name, prominent player in the Screen Junkies family. And so we got interviewed by Screen Junkies to be on their YouTube channel. And it was a huge honor for me because I've been, he actually tracked me down. He was chasing me on the showroom floor. They're like, hey, I want to talk to you, Baxter Stockman. That was really cool. And then, other news outlets, the local news, they did like this. You can see there's a woman right there filming us. And not only that, but we had... this isn't the best photo in the world, but it's one of my favorite photos because this was the line of press who wanted to interview us. There's a guy with his camera. There's, I'm up there at the front. You can see my big, huge fly wings, and I'm signing an NDA. I'm signing the paper or like a release form saying yes, I will appear on television. That whole thing. I love this because there was a whole line of people waiting to interview us. I thought that was really cool. But yeah, with this particular costume as Baxter Stockman, I had to figure out how to build this costume. Of course, you have the shirt and the pants. Okay, whatever. The bow tie I made, I handcrafted the bow tie. That was all the easy stuff. The hard stuff is how do you do the arms? And once you figure out how to make the arms, how do you make them sustainable? Because they were heavy. Well, I mean, it was foam. It was that, kind of foam stuff. But the texture was all something that I had to get right. I had to figure out how to do the wings. How am I going to do the detail work inside of the wings? This was all stuff that I had to figure out. And I was particularly pleased with how it turned out because I think it looks great. I think it looks amazing. And apparently other people thought it was amazing too. This costume doesn't exist anymore. Unfortunately, I had to trash it. I broke it apart. It was kind of falling apart. I held onto it for a little while. But anyway, yeah, this was. I mean, and as you guys know, Ninja Turtles is always it's always been one of my favorite IPs. And so just having the opportunity to play like a major character from the Ninja Turtles, or play a character, it was cosplay, whatever. Anyway, guys, these are some of my favorite costumes that I've done. Baxter Stockman, Harley Quinn, SpiderHam, the Ghostbusters, Captain America, Punisher, Cannonball, Walter White, Mr. Rogers, Bob Wiley, Gambit, and of course Bane. These are some of my favorite costumes that I've ever put together. But the question for you guys is, what costumes have you worn? What are some of your favorite costumes or cosplays over the year? Do you have photos? Actually, here, let me bring this up. Send your photos to me at, just email them at godlovethemovies@gmail.com. If you have photos of your favorite cosplays, send me an email and we'll try to feature them on the show. Halloween is coming up, so let's set a date for Friday. So send me your photographs by Friday morning. Thursday night, Friday morning, send me your photographs at godlovethemovies@gmail.com and let me know why this was your favorite costume that you've ever done. And we'll try to, let's see if we can make a segment out of this on Friday, being Halloween. Hey everybody, thanks for watching. If you like this video, click like. If you really like this video, click subscribe. And if you really, really like this video, click share. Because that is exactly what Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles would want you to do. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.